Oh yeah, I'm feeling this. Everybody knows what time it is. Big Sin knows what time it is. Hollywood knows what time it is. It is time for that damn NFL show. We had a hell of a weekend leading up to the playoffs. I talked about this on the podcast, first segment. A lot of drama. Let's save the drama for your mama. I know Big Sin is just itching to talk about what happened this weekend. We ready, let's go! Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
The NFL regular season is in the books.
It is a wrap.
And it ended with people bitching, complaining, mad. So let me just get it out of the way real quick. We're going to start off the segment with the last football game of Sunday. The Washington defaults to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, so
earlier in the day, the Giants won their game.
Yep, that's right.
They had to wait to see what happened in the Eagles and football team game.
That is right.
Doug Peterson said, you know what? Fuck the Giants. I'm going to bench Jalen Hurts. Why we still have a chance to win?
Oh.
And Giants players are like, bro, really? What the fuck? Let me just say what I want to say real quick about the Giants fans and their players. Win more than 6 games. They go fuck yourselves.
All right. So first things first. First things first. And I talked about this extensively on the first segment of the show. My mind is blown about what happened. Simply because that would be literally like Bill Belichick saying, you know what, Tom? We're down by like a touchdown. But it's cool. We're gonna put in your boy. We're gonna put in not even the nigga behind you, but like the third nigga. You know what I'm saying? Whoever the third nigga is, right? Not even Brian Hoyer, but like rookie nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like remember
Jared?
Yeah, not. We're gonna even talk about even before that time. Give me the third stringer of the Patriots.
That was Jacoby Brissett.
Well, no, before that, because
it was Castle, and then it was shit. I don't even remember. No, they only carried 2 quarterbacks for Castle, and it was Hoyer when Castle was hurt.
Oh, that's true. All right, let me put this in perspective. I'll give you a better perspective for all my 90s 49ers fans. This will be the equivalent of saying, you know what? We got Steve Young and we got Steve Bono, but we're going to put in Jim Druckenmiller instead because, we ain't got no chance of making the playoffs. Everybody was hurt this year. Jim Druckenmiller, we're only down by 6. Let's see what you got, big boy. And proceeds to actually lose the fucking game.
Hey, Doug Peterson was all about draft position because remember, they didn't lose to the Bengals.
Listen. Oh my God.
Hey,
this is the same.
All around the league on Sunday, quarterbacks were helping their players get their incentives. Why not get better draft stock by losing to the football team and fucking over the Giants?
Because going from 11 to 9 means absolutely nothing. That's why.
Some idiot team is going to trade up and draft somebody who shouldn't be drafted where they are, a.k.a. the Giants did it with Daniel Jones a few years ago.
So, again, you're not wrong about what you're saying. I'm not arguing the aspect of the Giants need to play better. The NFC East should have played better as a fucking whole.
Like I said, win more than 6 games then you could complain. If you're say 10-6 and that shit happened, then you could complain. You won 6 games. Your team was trash. Your division was trash. The Cowboys lost their franchise quarterback and still had a chance to make the goddamn playoffs.
Again, you're not wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong, okay? This is what I'm saying. And I'm gonna shoot this out there just like I talked about previously. You owe it to your players as a coach to do the best job that you can every single time out. Okay? If Nate Sudfeld was such a great option, all right? If he was such a great option, then they would have had no need to draft Jalen Hurts, right? Like they would have had no need to go sign Carson Wentz to $100 million. The Eagles buried their own hole here before they even put Nate Sudfeld in for this game. Okay,
so the reality of Doug Peterson's eyes is he's trying to dump $100 million contract. Move up in the draft. Zach Ertz is gone, and 4 members of their defensive starting team are all free agents. They are going into full rebuild mode next season.
All right, but okay, but we can't. There's a difference between the Patriots rebuilding and the Super Bowl champion Eagles.
They were only the champions because Nick Foles was the quarterback, not Carson Wentz.
Okay, fine. At the same time, they lost people beforehand, and they decided to sign Carson Wentz. They had the option to, probably give Frank Reich an incentive to keep his ass there, and they didn't. Okay, we really know that the mastermind behind the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl had nothing to do with Doug Peterson. I'm gonna call a spade right now.
No, it was the offensive coordinator in the play of Nick Foles. That's what it was.
Exactly, because you obviously see what he's doing in Indianapolis. He gave Andrew Luck the best season of his career. And you see what he's doing with Phillip Rivers, the magic that he's doing there. Okay, so
and he had Jacoby playing well until he got hurt.
Exactly. So now that we know that, now that is all is crystal clear, Doug Peterson, at this point, we know what he's about. We know that he's continually backpedaled into the playoffs. This year, he couldn't pull it off. Remember last year, he backpedaled into the playoffs. He lost.
Yeah, and Carson Wentz honestly played good football with nobody on the team last year.
Yep. But now there's really nobody on the team except Deshaun Jackson. He didn't come back until 4 weeks ago?
Yeah. And his cocky ass runs his mouth too goddamn much. And his play on the field doesn't – if he can't get – okay, so the problem with Deshaun Jackson is, yes, he's very quick, but he has issues against corners who are as fast as he is, which is why he only breaks 20-yard plays off once every 5-6 games.
Well, yeah, because either he gets tired or the quarterback gets tired and he can take advantage of him. You know what I'm saying?
It's usually just one time a game.
But Doug Peterson he's talking about draft stock and doing it, which obviously, so if we're going to go draft stock, then we also I guess we have to excuse the Jaguars for tanking. So we have to start there. Let's start at the top.
They admitted to it, so
exactly. So they shouldn't even be fine. You can't even fuck with them. You just gotta be like, you know what? The Jaguars suck. They're trash. But the Eagles actually tried this year at the end of the season when they knew that the NFC East was absolute trash. They put in Jalen Hurts to figure out what the fuck was going on, and then you realize that Doug Peterson as a coach is fucking trash.
But they're not going to fire him due to the fact that he's a Super Bowl winning coach. I'm going to do it with the parentheses. Off the back of a backup quarterback who played for the city of Philadelphia.
Yep.
Who only had success in the city of Philadelphia.
Yep.
And he also got that off the back of what was a very good defense that year.
No. Dude, we can't say that. I'll tell you why. A very good defense that Tom Brady put up, 36 on?
Yeah, but he also put up 500 yards in it. But they were the number 3 defense in the NFL.
I don't know how. Not if Tom Brady's. Tom Brady put up 20. What is it? Was it 24, 27 points in a quarter? And you're the best. You can't be the best defense. And Tom Brady's just dropping on you. And Tom Brady didn't have barely any of the weapons. He had Edelman, and that was it at that time. You know what I'm saying?
He had it was Edelman. It was Brandon Cooks. It was James White, and of course James White, and Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, and I mean the GOAT dropping 36 in the quarter doesn't mean you have a great defense. What they had was Frank Reich. What they had was a scheme to counteract Bill Belichick. What they had was more gumption from the offensive side with Frank Reich in charge, because we haven't seen the offense perform nowhere near as great with Frank Reich out there. At this point, I'm blaming the GM for not getting players to Philadelphia.
I blame the owner for letting Doug Peterson do this shit, because let's be honest here. This call came from above Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
This is the GM. This is the owner saying, hey, we can move up 2 positions. The wide receiver at Alabama might get overlooked because of remember, the wide receiver from LSU who sat out this season is still considered the best wide receiver in the country.
Yes, but that means absolutely nothing if your O-line is trash.
Oh, no, I get that. I understand that. But then again, You got to remember, this is the same GM that hasn't drafted anybody to help their so-called franchise quarterback.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point. And that's where it starts. So we just like we said, starts from the top down. We cannot excuse tanking because tanking is accepted. But from a competitive standpoint, I think he let his players down who wanted to play spoiler against Washington. Like, I can understand if they played, I don't know, Minnesota, right? And they only play them once every fucking 4 years, or maybe
if it wasn't a division game, it wouldn't have been as much of an issue as it is.
Exactly. But you have an opportunity to play spoiler to the Washington football team. That you play these dudes, you know them. And I think they beat them.
Maybe Doug Peterson, maybe the ownership group and the GM of the Eagles felt bad for Alex Smith and wanted him to play in the playoffs.
That is a shame. That is sad. Somebody angered me. Who angered the face? Who dropped the anger face? It has to be somebody. It's either a Philadelphia fan or somebody as angry as I am. One of the two. Okay.
But at the end of the day, the Washington football team is the best team in this division. The best team won this division.
All right. No, and I'm not going to sit there and lie to you, because I think if Alex Smith had played an entire season, just like he was, 2 years ago before the freak-ass injury, he would have led Washington to the playoffs 2 years ago. He would have led them to the playoffs now, barring a few setbacks and injuries. Okay,
Dwayne Haskins.
But really, Chase Young is really who to thank for this playoff run, as he's been eating quarterback.
Okay, so let's do a little segue here. So, no, we're talking about when we get to the other game. I'm gonna lead when we get to the playoffs. I'll talk about it, but I'm just gonna leave it with this little nugget. Chase Young, watch what you say.
Oh, also, you reap what you sow. And I know what we're talking about here.
Yep.
But let's
go ahead and throw it under the bus right now. The Giants beat the Cowboys in what is now a meaningless game. This division is not in a good place to be mad, be upset, be anything, because nobody in the division, 6-10 is inexcusable.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
What the Giants? The football team finished 7-9.
Yeah, 7-9.
Okay, they finished the same record as the Patriots.
Yeah. So this is essentially what happened in the NFC South. 4 or 5 years ago when Carolina won the division with a 7-9 record.
And then people would remember before that, people complained when Seattle got in with an 8-8 record.
Yeah,
it is what it is. It's a garbage division. They better be better next year. So let's go ahead and get through these games real quick. We both went 11-5 this week. So
yeah,
that's our record for this week.
That's good. Not bad.
In a meaningless game, the Vikings beat the Lions only by 2. The Vikings have a lot of work to do this offseason.
They got to figure out if they're going to be able to keep Adam Thielen from going to Green Bay. That's kind of what the big work that there is. They're going to also figure out. Well, they found their second receiver.
The rookie who beat Randy Moss's records. Yes.
Yeah, so they have him. Kyle Rudolph, is he still? I think he took a real step back this year.
Yeah, well, he's also getting old. So
yeah, they need a lot. They need a. You know what the Vikings need. You know, I've been talking about this for the last 2 years. Kirk Cousins got to go. I'm sorry. They don't have
a big-ass extension in the offseason, so he's there for at least another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, sadly.
Because ain't nobody taking that. You talk about Wentz's contract. Nobody's taking that fully guaranteed contract of Kirk Cousins.
Whoever was his agent must have also been an agent for Sam Bradford, which oddly enough, Sam Bradford played backup to Kirk Cousins at some point of his career. Good job.
There was in the quarterback room before COVID. Sam was like, "Hey, Kirk, call my boy, yo. He's gonna give you paid for decades from these teams after my career is over, son."
Huh.
All right,
decades, Bobby Bonilla style, bitch. Oh.
Next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers mollywopped the Atlanta Falcons.
Whoo, you knew it was coming. I thought it was going to be a comeback. I was hoping that Atlanta would spot them, like would get spotted like 21 points. And
Tom Brady wasn't risking that shit. He's like, nah, fam, no.
I love the Tom Brady death pose where he's sitting on the sidelines, wide kneed, head down.
He just like this.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Contemplating like, we're going to run these next 37 plays. I'm going to fuck these niggas up. Oh, my bad.
But the big story here is Mike Evans hyperextended his knee. There's no ligament damage, but he is questionable for the game on Sunday.
Yeah, well, you know, Mike Evans hasn't been to a playoff in about 5. No. It's been a while.
Well, he's only been in the league. He's only been in the league for 6 years. So,
and I think that they've only been to the playoffs.
I think it was his rookie season that he got there.
So Mike Evans missing a playoff game is a huge. I doubt it, but stranger things have happened. So,
but again, non-contact leg injury is always the worst.
It is. So that means Scotty Miller's the man, baby. That's right. Miller.
Chris Godwin will continue to be the man. That's what's going to happen here.
See, everybody thinks that. Okay, fine. Chris Godwin is a great.
Antonio Brown has found his game.
Scotty effing Miller. If you're watching this, people, okay, you play fantasy football, Scotty fucking Miller. His middle name is F. It stands for fucking. Okay, Scotty fucking Miller. All right, pick him up. That's gonna be the man. If Mike Evans is out, Scotty fucking Miller. That's it. He's Julian Edelman Jr. All right.
All right. Next up. Well, nice segue because we're talking about what is possibly Cam Newton's last game in New England. It is also the last game of Nick Caserio as he accepted the job as the GM in Houston, thus ending his dynasty in 20 years with the Patriots. Cam Newton had his best game in a New England uniform for 4 total touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 receiving. Where do the Patriots go from here?
There's a lot to be said. So, outside of Fields and what's his name, Trevor Lawrence, there's really not much to go in the quarterback ways in the draft. Like everybody's maybe a couple years off. Everybody is, whatever. I think Cam has proven enough to where he gets a deal, not a huge deal.
The problem here is Adam Schefter reported today that he was informed that 2 teams are looking to offer Cam Newton $40 to $50 million for the next 2 seasons. The Patriots will not be one of them.
Well, of course not. But is it going to be? Well, who's it going to be? Denver? I doubt it.
That is the team that is offering probably the most.
Probably, but listen, the Denver's problems. I'm going to find the best way to say this. First things first. I got to figure out what the Patriots are going to do with all this fucking cap space. Let's kind of start there.
And we don't know if Julian Edelman is staying in New England.
True. Julian Edelman might end up in Tampa for all we know next year.
He's about 2 years on his contract, but who knows what will happen.
Bill Belichick can cut him for a penny. It's on the dollar at this point. If you really
and how Belichick is, if you're not useful to him anymore, we love you, but bye.
Yeah, bye. But Cam Newton's situation is weird. See, Cam Newton, for his whole entire career, outside of the Steve Smith years, the first 3 years of his career, okay, has not been able to have the type of offense that's high-powered with, has the receivers, has the running backs. You know what I'm saying? Remember, in Carolina days, he had the two-headed monster with Stewart and Williams, and he had Steve Smith as a what you call him, and he had the last little remnants of, I forget the name of the receiver, but he had those boys. Oh, we got comments. Hold on. John, New England needs to draft Mac Jones if he's still on the board. Only Elway will pay $40 million to a QB who made $1 million from the Pats.
He's not wrong.
You're not wrong, but
it's the Broncos and it's the it was another Southern team.
It wouldn't be the Titans. It could be the Colts because the Colts.
I think it is the Colts
because Phillip Rivers is on a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
So he said Cam is on a decline. He can't make routine screen passes anymore. To Cam's defense, neither could the rest of the Patriots.
And Washington wants Cam also because Ron Rivera. That would be his best spot. That would be his best spot.
Ron Rivera threw this man under the bus. Listen, I don't want to. That's my biggest problem. Ron Rivera threw this man under the bus at the beginning of the season, or beginning of last season. I mean, they could, but they still don't have weapons.
He did make up for that by convincing Belichick to give Cam a shot.
I don't know. There's so many things going on here, up to and including a possible trade fiasco going on between San Francisco and New England, which is another thing. You know who I'm talking about.
Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be in New England after this season.
You don't think so?
Nope, because Kyle Shanahan was asked a question. He said, when Jimmy was healthy for his full season, he got us to the Super Bowl. Why would I trade that away?
I'm not saying I would get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. That's not what I'm saying. What I was saying is for the right price, I'd get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo.
All you got to stop doing is saying everything's going to be fine when everybody gets hurt.
Man, all right, so how about everything's not going to be fine, and then we're going to go 16. We're going to go 19-0. There you go.
No team will ever duplicate what the Patriots did in 2006 to go 16-0 during the regular season. It will never happen again.
If opposite karma works, then I'm going to tell it like it is. Everything is fucked in San Francisco. I just booked us. All right, thank you very much. Anyway.
Next year, 0-16.
John's like, there we go, Hollywood.
All right, so next up, the Bills just took the Gay Sharks and stuck it in their blowhole on Sunday. The Miami Dolphins had a playoff shot and all for naught this season. But on the upside, the wide receiver out of Alabama, which I've already mentioned, the Heisman Trophy winner, will probably end up dropping to the 4th spot, which because of the Texans, the Dolphins have the 4th pick in the draft. He can reunite with Tua Tagovailoa in Miami.
Oh, my God. That would be this sweet victory for the Miami Dolphins. But the Dolphins need to figure out what they want to do. They can't keep coddling Tua. The problem. This is the problem with the Dolphins. They keep coddling Tua Tagovailoa. So every time he's like, "Oh, I'm having a bad game. What do I do?" It's okay, little buddy. You just sit down right here. Your good old Uncle Ryan is going to get into the game.
Yeah,
he's going to get us back into it.
This weekend, Ryan was on the COVID list. And unfortunately, without Ryan Fitzpatrick, this Dolphins team is not built to come back. Can't hear you, buddy. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Yay!
I said yes. Now say what you were saying after I said about the Dolphins not being able to come back without Fitzpatrick.
I said because all the Dolphins know. Pain. Oh, we glitched out for a minute. Are we back? Okay, we're back. Okay. All I know is pain. There's not going to be no Uncle Ryan next year to coddle.
No, because he's going to be in New England on a 1-year deal to finish his tour of the AFC East.
Hopefully with Frank Gore. Anyways.
That's right. Goddamn it.
So Buffalo
is number 2 seed in the AFC.
Yep, first time since 1994.
And they're scary. They're scary.
Oh, but who do they play first? They play
We'll talk about that when we get to the playoffs. So
yeah, this is gonna be a problem. But yeah, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Next up, the Cleveland Browns punched their ticket by beating the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And I said I find it the irony, and Mason Rudolph was catching punishment for 3.5 quarters, and the Browns almost blew it. Don't get me wrong, the Browns almost fucked this up. They let Mason Rudolph back in this game, and they almost lost this shit at the end. That would have been bad. But look, Baker Mayfield, without Odell Beckham Jr., I told you, is a better quarterback than most quarterbacks in the NFL because he actually distributes the ball. It was an absolute clinic up until the fourth quarter where the Steelers tried to come back and win it. But the Browns have punched their tickets to the playoffs for the first time. Now, will the Baker Mayfield critics, are they going to go away? You know?
I think if they win Saturday, I think they might. Or, Sunday, I think they might. But until then, no. Because now their coach and 2 other coaches are out with COVID. And their Pro Bowl offensive linemen are out with COVID going into the playoffs.
So it's fucked up. A soul for a soul. Because Ben Roethlisberger was quarantined, and subsequently that's why they say that the Browns won that game. Now Pittsburgh again facing a division rival.
Ben was never playing that game to begin with. They already had their fucking playoff spot. He was never playing that game.
I don't know. Ben would like to stick it to the Browns one time if he can not have him in the playoffs.
Well, the good thing about this all is Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph did talk after the game, and they squashed their beef, so they're good.
Yeah, so congratulations, Myles.
All right, next up, the Ravens beat the shit out of the Bengals.
I was hoping for it.
I'm picking the Bengals.
You know why? Because Lamar Jackson heard me. He was like, this motherfucker Hollywood ain't shit. Fuck this nigga, cuz. Hung up the shoes like, boys, we're going all in. All fucking in, okay? All fucking in. Balls for fucking in.
They had to, or else the Dolphins are going to get in the playoffs.
You're right, but
this wasn't much. It was running game. That's all it was. And Lamar Jackson picked apart fucking Cincinnati's defense, which he seems to do with the passing game also. So there's that. So in the last team that kicked Miami while they were still getting screwed in their bunghole by the Bills was the Indianapolis Colts, and the Jacksonville Jaguars said, our tank is complete. Trevor, come to us.
The tank. As the orange Trevor Lawrence jersey descends from the heavens right into Jacksonville.
Because he died versus Ohio State.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. When does Ohio State play Alabama? Is it tonight?
I don't know.
But anyways, the whole thing with Trevor Lawrence, it might not even be a guarantee at this point. Listen, if Justin Fields puts on a clinic against Alabama, there's a strong. You don't know. I didn't think Justin Fields would beat the shit out of Clemson like that.
So the game turned on that bullshit roughing the passer penalty on the All-American free safety of Clemson. They had nobody over the middle of the field after that happened because they ejected him from the game. And Justin Fields picked them apart after that bullshit call.
Bill Belichick would have found somebody to play. Okay,
Well,
see,
Dabo Swinney is not Bill Belichick,
and that's exactly why he'll never be in the NFL. Anyways,
and this is that whole Jordan meme thing. Well, Dabo said we're a number 11 team. I took that personally. I took that.
And John was right. Exactly, not targeting. Okay, not targeting. It was bullshit. I've seen. Man, let me tell you something. Targeting is very subjective. I've seen a targeting play in a college game recently. As a matter of fact, it was the Georgia game where Georgia played Cincinnati and almost lost to Cincinnati. I was praying that they lose to fucking Cincinnati. But there was a surefire targeting play in the last drive of that game, and it did not fucking call it, even though Georgia won anyway. But the quarterback fucking died. Okay, like he got hit in the head and he died. And it somehow came back to life. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like 8-10 seconds later and helped them win the game. I don't know how, but they didn't call targeting on that shit. But that bullshit that happened in Clemson.
Yeah, an all-American free safety.
Oh, because you know why. Vegas, baby. You know Vegas runs the show.
All right, we're going to keep on moving on. Derrick Henry did what you asked him to do. He got over 220 yards rushing, and they destroyed the Tennessee Titans. But the Texans almost came back and beat them.
Yes, right? I tweeted to Derrick Henry. I said, Derrick Henry, you only need 225 yards rushing to get that 2,000-yard mark, okay? That's all you need. Can you get that 225 for me? He's like, you know what, Hollywood? You're right, cuz. You're right. Thank you for letting me know, dog. Thank you for letting me know.
All right, we're going to do a rapid fire real quick with these last games. The Rams beat the Cardinals, solidifying the Rams into the playoffs.
Damn.
The Saints beat the Panthers.
We knew that was going to happen.
The Packers beat the Bears. We both picked the Bears.
The Bears still made it in, oddly enough.
Yeah, they did. You called it. The Chargers beat the Chiefs, and I said rest is not a good thing for this Kansas City team. So now the starters are going to have 2 weeks off. They're going to be rusty as shit when they come back.
Yeah.
Your 49ers that was a weird game against Seattle.
Well, we were close up until the end of the game. That is kind of what it was. It was a defense. It was the typical Seattle 49ers game. Oddly enough, I don't know where the hell the Seattle defense showed up at because they weren't there the first 15 game.
They showed up.
Their offense barely, but see, soul for soul. They traded their offense for the defense, and then now their offense is kind of like mad. So now they're going into playoffs with a mad offense now.
All right. And then the last game, the Raiders beat the Broncos, which was meaningless. So before we get into the wild card rounds, I want to get your picks. Okay, so there will be between 4 and 8 new members selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, okay?
Okay.
Here are our 15 finalists. Predict 5 that you think are going in. Ready?
Okay, go.
Jared Allen, Rondé Barber, Tony Baselli, Leroy Butler, Alan Faneca, Torrey Holt, Calvin Johnson, John Lynch, Peyton Manning, Clay Matthews Jr., Sam Mills, Richard Seymour, Zach Thomas, Reggie Wayne, and Charles Woodson.
Manning's definitely. That's like a no-brainer.
Yeah. Manning, okay, so pick 4 more.
I would have to say, who the first 4 niggas you said?
Jared Allen.
No.
Rondé Barber.
No, not yet.
Tony Baselli.
Yes, Tony Baselli, definitely.
Leroy Butler.
He was on the Packers. He's safety for the Packers, right?
Yep.
Not yet, but go ahead.
Alan Faneca.
He's an offensive lineman?
Yep. Steelers, Jets, and Cardinals.
No, because Baselli's going to go over him.
Torrey Holt.
Yes, he'll go over Reggie Wayne.
Calvin Johnson.
No, not yet.
John Lynch.
Yes, safety. So there's 4, right?
Yep. All right.
Okay,
then you got Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews, the Browns linebacker.
Yes. But he's been on the ballot for a while, so.
I would say him. I think it's about time for him.
Sam Mills.
Actually, no. Sam Mills. Sorry. There's 5. Sam Mills. There you go.
All right.
I'll take him.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Peyton.
Yep.
John Lynch.
Yep.
Tony Baselli, because Tony Baselli was amazing when he was in the league.
That's what I said. So we agree on the first three. All right.
I'm going to go with Charles Woodson.
Okay.
And Richard Seymour.
Richard Seymour.
Patriots,
It's not that I
Patriots and the Raiders.
It's not that I don't think that Richard Seymour isn't deserving. I think he's still young. He only retired 5 years ago.
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah. Well, 8 years ago. Sam Mills was an absolute fucking monster.
But so is
that
linebacker. Zach Thomas might get in.
That's true too. That's a tough one to choose between Sam Mills and Zach Thomas.
So, and I like Calvin Johnson over Torrey Holt, but Torrey Holt's going to get in because he's got the rings with the Rams.
Yeah. See, I would even say Reggie Wayne, but even that's too recent. Reggie Wayne was the same issue with the 2012, 2013.
Peyton is going to be the headliner of this class.
The crown jewel. Absolutely, without a fucking doubt.
All right. So let's get into the wild card round here. Here we go.
Let's go.
Ooh, playoff time, baby. First game on the docket, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Buffalo Bills. Can the Colts keep up with Buffalo?
I think we should be asking the real question here. What is Buffalo going to do against that Colts defense?
Well, the Colts defense is missing, I think, 3 starters that have been injured since week 15, where the defense has folded for the last 3 weeks.
Ooh, that's a tough one then. As much as I want to see Phillip Rivers win a playoff game and go further in this one, if they're really missing those 3 players this game, it's a wrap. I think this is where it stops. Buffalo is really good defensively, but their offensive dynamic with Josh Allen is something else. And Stephon Diggs is playing at an elite level finally because he has something to play for.
Yep.
You got to give it to Buffalo on this one.
I think the Bills could put up 40 in this game.
Yeah.
They're at home. They're allowing fans in the stadium. They're going to score some points.
Yeah, this is going to be something else. God damn. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Next up, we have an NFC West matchup. The LA Rams at the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks won the division, but they haven't been playing as good offensively.
They were 1-1 with the Rams this year.
Yeah, and the Rams have kind of found some of their offense.
Jared Goff is still questionable because remember he just had surgery on his thumb.
Yeah. And if they're playing, I mean, although they did beat the Cardinals with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, because remember, he tried to play him, but his leg wouldn't hold up.
Yeah. So, I think Seattle finally tunes up the band on the offense, takes a little bit farther this time around.
Yeah, I don't like picking Seattle, but I got to because they're the better team. I think
I'm the same boat.
I think DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey are going to have some fireworks here.
Yeah,
because they're both aggressive. But I got the Seahawks.
Yeah, me too.
Next up, we're probably picking the first away team that we're going to pick in this playoffs as Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the 7-9 Washington Defaults. Chase Young said, "Tom, I'm coming for you."
Yeah, he said, "I want Tom. I'm coming for you, Tom. I want Tom." And I'm just sitting there like, be careful that you reap what you sow, sir, because not only has Tom Brady seen some things and some stuff, Bruce Arians is going to come for your ass with his offensive schemes. I promise you.
In the last 8 quarters of football, Tom Brady has thrown for 1,200 yards and 14 touchdowns.
Yeah. Listen. Tom. Bruce Arians is going to completely negate Chase Young out of this equation and allow Tom Brady to do what Tom Brady does best. That's kind of how this one is going to go.
Yeah, this is where you're going to see why Rob Gronkowski, the blocker, is better than Rob Gronkowski, the receiver. Yes.
Keep in mind, we're not talking about Bruce Arians in Arizona, who had Carson Wentz and a beat up offensive line by the time. I mean, not Carson Wentz, Carson Palmer, and a beat up offensive line by the time they got to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Mike Evans, the Bucs are healthy.
Yep,
on both sides of the ball.
And Mike Evans will more than likely play because it's a playoff game.
Yeah, Bucs easily, which is sad because I would have liked to see Alex Smith make a grandiose return to the playoffs once again.
It's a tough matchup here.
yeah, definitely. Right. Well, you put it like this: they'd be had the Buccaneers won one of those games against the Saints, they wouldn't even be playing in this game. Yeah, so exactly. There's that.
So okay, next up we have a battle of running: the Baltimore Ravens at the Tennessee Titans.
Damn, it's a tough one.
And two of these one of the, I think it's the Buccaneers football team game is actually going to be on Nickelodeon.
What?
Yes, Nickelodeon has partnered with CBS to bring us a playoff game this year. Me and John were wondering the same goddamn thing. But who you got? Lamar Jackson or Derrick Henry?
I got iCarly. Oh, no, wait a minute. My bad. It's not the one. What's one upset this weekend that you each wouldn't be surprised to see? Oddly enough, the one that we're on right now.
He said time to get a SpongeBob halftime show.
That's right. Sweet victory. Yeah. This is actually upset city. Because listen, I'm picking Tennessee to win this game because they're at home. Baltimore, don't let their record fool you, okay? They struggled in the middle of the season greatly. You know what I'm saying? And after the fact that they switched it, they switched the whole thing to where there's just running. But nobody's been able to stop this team from running on you at this point.
They did it last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they're all in now. Now Lamar Jackson ain't passing shit. So let's just start this right now. He's not passing shit.
I know. This might be the highest rushing game in NFL history.
You thought that when Jimmy Garoppolo threw it 12 times or 13 times last year was bad? No. This shit's gonna be like 6 of 9, and then everybody's gonna have like 200 yards rushing because it's gonna be ridiculous. But I'm still picking Tennessee because if you're gonna run the ball, it's gonna eat clock, and nobody eats clock better than Tennessee. So
I'm picking the Titans also. And to answer John's question about the upset, that is my next pick. The next game we have is the Chicago Bears at the New Orleans Saints. I am picking Khalil Mack, Mitchell Trubisky, and the Chicago Bears to go into New Orleans and beat the New Orleans Saints.
Whoo, oh boy. That is a tall order. A tall order. Now listen, so for those, for those going to be listening to this, okay? The Chicago Bears from 4 weeks ago aren't the same Chicago Bears anymore. They went 3-1 over the last 4 games. They've absolutely dominated without having Matt Nagy call these damn plays. I don't know what fucking plays he was calling. But listen, this New Orleans team always finds a way to do something differently. My biggest concern with New Orleans is Drew Brees going to last an entire playoff?
With Khalil Mack. That's where I'm backing right now. Khalil Mack, I think he's going to get to Drew Brees, and he is going to make that team very uncomfortable.
I mean,
that's my answer to John's question. I'm going to throw to the wall, see if it sticks. Upset of the week right here.
Wow. All right, well, I'm taking New Orleans simply because I need to see maybe Drew Brees has been resting and kind of peeling back a little bit and letting Alvin Kamara run the show. I don't know.
Remember, they had no running backs last week. They might have no running backs this week either. I don't know where their COVID testing is at. So,
oh my God, that'll be fucking COVID. Oh, fucking COVID.
And the last game on the docket, we have the third time they meet this season. The Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is another one. Another one.
There's some good games this weekend. I think the biggest blowout is going to be the Buccaneers game.
What are they going to do with no coaches? How are they going to play this game?
Their offensive coordinator is coaching. And I think the Cleveland coach will be calling plays up to the booth to his guys. You know what? I think we're going to see a miracle here. Baker Mayfield gets his first playoff win in his playoff debut because of the running backs, Nick Chubb and Lamar Hunt, Kareem Hunt.
You know what? Fuck it. Just run the damn football. I'm picking the Browns. Running the football and playing good defense is what's going to get these teams through. So there we go. I'll pick Cleveland right along with you. Fuck the Steelers.
But that is our show for tonight. We will see you probably next Wednesday with the wild card results and our picks for the next round of the playoffs.
Yes, and then discuss everything that happened and why it happened and who the fuck, where the fuck, why the fuck, everywhere fuck. Old McDonald had a COVID apparently, and that's apparently not.
Old McDonald had a COVID. SARS.
So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, that's my man Big Sin. I'm your boy Hollywood J. Black. This is That Damn NFL Show. And we out this thing. Deuces.